Good evening and good day. Got a little surprise jury duty tonight ahead of tomorrow's finale, or well, tonight's finale for you all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tomorrow morning for us.
It's tomorrow
tonight
morning for us. Yeah.
For everyone in Australia.
Yeah. So we're having a fun night. All right. We're podcasting now to talk about everything leading into the big finale, and then tomorrow or later tonight for you. We're going to be live right after the episode. So that's going to be 7:15 our time. All right. So
AM.
Yeah. AM. All right. We took off from work just to hang out with you. Okay. So, our apologies for whatever state we're in the morning. But, wow. It's the longest intro ever. This is Jury Duty. Let's go. I have to be honest. I really thought hard about whether or not I should start removing some of those. That's a very long theme. There's a very long stretch of time. It's just all black and white photos. Yeah. But I mean, at this point, I guess fuck it, right? Whatever.
Yeah, it's kind of nice to see everybody in there,
Nice trip down memory lane.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is Jury Duty, your favorite Big Brother podcast. I am Kyle Petty, and I am joined by the ever so magnificent and fabulous John Dunphy. And today, we are talking Big Brother Australia 2022, ahead of the big finale. Removing what? I was talking about maybe removing some of the many faces in the opening credits that make our theme so long. Some of those faces, like, who are these people? Yes, hello. Yeah. Thank you so much. I love that. It makes me feel very special. Thanks for hanging. So, some interesting things to talk about in this episode, right? I like how we get to the finale here in Australia.
Yes, me too.
Yeah.
This was really exciting. This was really exciting.
Yeah. This was really so many crazy things here with this. So we're at Final 5, right? That's the stage we were at. Taras,
they started this week.
Johnson, Alicia, and Brenton.
Correct.
Right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's a very interesting mix. Are you surprised Brenton made it as far as he's made it? As an intruder?
Not necessarily as an intruder. I think, there's an interesting cloud that's kind of like cast upon this intruder thing. I don't necessarily think that that's the worst thing, depending on how the house is split and everything. I think that Brenton and Jules both came in at pretty good times, and kind of set them up in a good way. I don't think that hurt them.
No.
I thought that Brenton's early strategy coming into the house would have hurt him. This whole I don't know what I'm doing. I'd be like,
it was a little too much.
Yeah, it just felt a little overplayed. So I would have thought, I thought that would have hurt him a little bit more.
You know what I thought was funny that we saw in the most recent episode, because they were doing like flashbacks of everything, and like when Brenton went up to Trev when he first got into the house and was like, "So are you Big Brother? Are you Big Brother?" I'm like, all right, man, laying it on a little thick.
Exactly. Come on, I would have thought that would have damaged his game a little bit more than the fact that he was an intruder. So
Uh,
yeah, but no, good for him in Final Five.
yeah, I'll say, like, I was not happy about the intruders
No,
coming
you
in
weren't.
when they were. I think at
No,
that point
you weren't.
we'd already gotten 19 housemates, and I was like, all right, I think we've gotten enough. But I really liked Brenton. I got to tell you,
Yeah,
I really liked him the whole time from like start to end. I really enjoyed watching him on the show. So
yeah. It's too bad you just spoiled everything.
no, I mean, we're at finale. It's the end of the season. I
No, I
really
know.
enjoyed watching him.
No, I know. But we didn't tell people yet that he left. You know what? If but we're way behind. We're
Well, I
way
didn't
behind.
say he left. I feel that way about everybody. I've enjoyed
Oh,
watching them.
so if
We're at the
anything,
end
I
game.
just spoiled because
Yeah,
I
I was just saying, like, it's been a great season. I've really enjoyed watching him.
I spoiled it by trying to shed light on the fact that you are a spoiler. That's what I get.
Well, I'm imagining, from the finales we've seen, I'm imagining there's going to be like a studio. They're going to announce the winners. So I feel like at this point, we've.
I mean, it is true. I mean, honestly, if you're watching at this point, and you already know, or you should, that's your fault. The episode aired. It's not really a spoiler. It aired. So it's not like the feeds. So any Hoosers, Taras wins the challenge, right?
Yeah. What a beast.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They had the first challenge.
Right. This is where things get wonky, right?
Yeah.
So you had to you explain it. You explain it.
So it took us a minute to even remember what had happened this week.
I know, that's why I want you to do it.
But so first episode of the week. I thought this was really cool how they broke this down. You do a nomination, and then depending on who wins, they nominate one person. This is no more. You win the challenge, and then you nominate 3 people, and now the rest of the house are going to vote on them. It's if you win this challenge, you nominate one person.
Yep.
Okay.
Just
so
one.
Taras has just been on a roll. This was his 9th win, and at the time his 4th win in a row. He wins this first challenge, and this was a crazy challenge too.
Which one was this now? There were so many, I feel like we've watched at this point.
So the first one was with the buckets of water, and the buckets had holes all over them, so you had to run back and forth. Back and forth.
This looked like it would be fun if it wasn't timed or something.
Right, like this looked very, very cool. And so you just had to pour the buckets of water down this ramp, and it slowly got this key to travel down the ramp. Once you got your key, you could open up this box, and they had these like spool-looking things. You stacked those up, and then had to take the tower that you had built with these spools and slowly drag them across the finish line. And Taras was he pulled it out again.
Yeah, just really crushed it. Yep. So then he nominated, I don't even remember.
Johnson.
Yeah, because it almost like the order almost now didn't matter. So he nominated Johnson. Okay.
Johnson was the first nom,
Yeah. So then we played
did that mean that also meant that Johnson couldn't participate, I think, in the next comp, right? Was that am I lying about that? I might be lying about that.
No, I believe that's correct.
Yeah.
I believe that's correct.
So that was a big hit for Johnson.
It was a big hit. It was a big hit. So then they play again. Another challenge, because we need to get somebody else up on the block there.
Yep.
So they played again. Now, do you remember what game this was now?
So this was, you had this puzzle on the floor with the big piece. They were all like triangle shaped, and you had to build this puzzle that kind of like formed like a lane almost. And at the end of the lane was this platform where you then had to place these 5 stands that had these little cups on them. And you're also almost playing like a little game of like beer pong on your own, bouncing the balls into the 5 cups. Yes. And even this one, I think Brenton came second place to Taras, and Brenton got like 1 ball in before Taras could get all 5 of his in. Like it really was that.
Right.
Yeah.
We have a question here. Could Taras have been nominated by the second comp winner? Yeah, he could have been. He could have been, and that would have been the end of him. But alas, Taras wins again. His 10th competition win. which is also, from what I was reading, an international Big Brother record.
Yeah. Because I was looking, I tried to look for this. It was hard to find like a real good, like clean list, but I looked around for like the record for the most comps won in any Big Brother. And I almost was looking at it by like season, right? Because it's really impressive, you know, because like we've seen people on Big Brother, you know, US and now Big Brother Australia come back, right? And I saw a lot of websites kind of combining their records together.
Right.
So even in like on the list that you saw, you know, some BBUS people that like one season they won 4 comps, and then the next season they won 3 comps, and like that was like the closest anyone was coming, and it was taking multiple seasons to get there. You know, like and like people were coming up with like seven total wins or 8 total wins, and it would be over the course of multiple seasons. Where we've seen Taras win not only not only 10 competitions overall, but 5 in a row. Like he's won more competitions in a row than some people have ever won total.
Yeah,
like
wow.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, jeez, really impressive.
I love it. And we had him on here. How fun.
We spoke to him.
Mm-hmm. So cool. So cool. So any Hoosers. So yeah, so there's Johnson. So now they play this other game, and Taras wins that one. That's where we are. And then he puts up Alicia.
Did this surprise you at all that he put her up?
No, because I because I think the thought being that even if it went wrong, it's still good. Even that's not really what you wanted. It's still good to split them up. Because if you put Brenton up there and that goes wrong, you get Brenton. Now you still have Johnson and Alicia. Like,
right? Because you know, there's a big. I get why he did what he did. Like, but it was funny to me because I was thinking about he was so like upset that Alicia got sent home. Did I just spoil something?
No, wait, say that again.
I think I just spoiled who went up, but I mean, who cares? But he put up Johnson and Alicia, and I get because I was wondering if he would put up like Johnson and Brenton because it didn't seem like he wanted like Alicia to be necessarily in danger. But at the same time, if the only people voting then are, like, it's much more likely that Johnson is not going to be the one to go home if you're targeting him. If Alicia is able, to vote, so. So at that point, if it's just Johnson and Alicia up, their votes cancel out, and then it's okay. Well, now, you can kind of control. I mean, in Taras's mind, I could see why it's like, all right, I have more control over the outcome of this now.
Well, right. I mean, if you put Brenton up there, I mean, Reggie would have just voted for Brenton to go. Like he wanted Johnson out.
Yeah, and Alicia's not going to vote for Johnson to go, so I think you had to put up Johnson and Alicia.
Yeah.
He had to.
Johnson, if he wanted Johnson, Johnson said, "Are you trying to squeeze me out?" And he said, "Yes."
Yeah. So any hope at all, he would have had to put because, no, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
But what makes this really interesting, though, is that Taras did think that he had this one in the bag because he had a conversation with Reggie. And Reggie assured him that she would be voting Johnson along with him.
Yeah.
And that did not come to pass. So what did you think about this?
I both get it and am like somewhat surprised by it.
I was surprised by it, but I agreed with it. I hate that it was a move that went against what my person wanted. Like, I love Taras. So of course I'm rooting for him. So whatever plan that he wants, I just want to go off flawlessly. But from a game point of view, I thought it was great for Reggie.
Yeah. That's what she said that. She said Taras wants me to vote out Johnson, but that's not what's good for my game. That's good. That's what's good for Taras's game.
Yes. I love that. I love that she did that.
Yeah. And it really
shows that she was in the game.
Exactly. It hits the nail on the head. Exactly what you just said. Because we've had discussions on here about how it seems like some of these competitions sometimes, like, Reggie's amazing, but like when a competition involves getting on a balance beam and putting a puzzle together and this and that, and then we see Reggie, unfortunately has the issues with her vision, so she's sometimes being led around the house and stuff like that. Obviously, it's going to be difficult for her when she now has to get up on a balance beam by herself and compete against all these people that are that are in the house with her. So like in this sort of instance where she was being pressured to do one thing and made up her mind that it was better for her game to do something else, and she helped to pull off this move. Awesome. It shows that Reggie really is still playing in the game. She's not just in there doing nothing and everybody's just helping her along. No, she's really playing the game.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I like that. I also want to point out, some comments here from Kite Man Dan that it's a good thing to point out as we discuss, Teresa's many comp wins. This is a valid point. That there are limits for who can compete in what comp in North America. Here, you can just keep competing, right? So that's interesting. I did not give that any thought. Because see here, you wouldn't even been allowed to keep doing this. Like if you were HOH, you can't be it next week. So you can't even be in there. So
I am curious about that too, because did they have the rule in this where if you were HOH one week, you couldn't be voted as HOH the next week? Because that would be similar, even if it's not a competition thing.
Yeah, that you couldn't be HOH, but that was a vote. You could just keep winning nomination challenges and just keep whatever. Yeah.
Can I ask you another question, sort of piggybacking off of this then?
Yeah, that's why we're
here. I guess it's kind of weird because it is called the Second Chance Challenge. So you'd think, all right, the people that are in danger are trying to get a second chance at life in the game. But like, would it be cool to have a couple other players, 3 other players that are chosen at random draw, like our veto comp, that can potentially save somebody else in the in the house in BB Australia if it's a random draw or whatever? Like, would it be cool to add more competitors to the Second Chance Challenge and maybe call it something else or something? Or I don't know.
Yeah, I do like that. I think that just adds something else to the social strategy of the game. It just adds another layer. If I win the competition, then I have to make the decision about using it or not using it, and I have to show some of my cards. But the bonus to that is that I also now stay safe because I have this. So it's better. It's certainly better than somebody else winning it. And then there's the people who, if I'm chosen at random, listen, I don't want to get involved in this whole thing. So I don't want to win this. Like, I don't want this thing. I think it's a really fun layer. Yeah, I'd like that. Or at least have it interspersed. Maybe not if you really want to stay true to your thing, maybe just add it as a twist sometimes or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what this is. Kite Man Dan says, yeah, I would love if they brought back Showdown if they're going to have house noms. In 2013, they had the Showdown comp where the winner saves a nom and noms someone else. Oh, that's fun. Showdown.
So it's almost like the veto, except the HOH isn't making the replacement nom. It's the person who would have won the veto almost, right? I mean,
right.
That's kind of how it would go.
I like that. I like that.
Too.
That's fun. And you earned it. You won.
Yeah.
Yeah, you win. Now you have some power. Yeah. Hashtag vote for Showdown. All right, so Alicia evicted due to Reggie's lie. Yeah.
Sad to see Alicia go. And
let me tell you something. I think that Alicia played a really, really fantastic game. I love really everything that she did. However, I really, I just have a thing about people coming back into the house, like,
because she was evicted.
Yeah, I mean, like if it was a battle back and like you earned your way back in, like you did something, there was some
Right.
kind of a competition, then fine.
Right.
Um, to just
Yeah.
walk back in during Temptation Week, isn't that
Yeah.
what it was? Because one
It
person took
was.
one too. That's
That's what it
lame.
was. Yeah.
Yeah, that's lame.
Drew and Alicia had the chance to come back in if enough other people in the house chose a temptation over like something for the house. Um, so they really didn't do anything. They just kind of sat there and
Yeah, that's my
waited to
only
see if
thing.
it happened.
So to that, do we really award
Yeah,
the money? I mean, you were
because
evicted. You were evicted, so you technically lost. You know,
right,
if when I think about what's fair in terms of the game, if I think about like board game night, and I'm sitting there and you lost, your piece is off the board. You lost. Like I don't want to hear about some twist where you just get to just come back.
right,
Like
right,
no,
right,
no.
right. I mean, at least at the very least, because Estelle and Reggie from that arcade twist, like they just kind of came back in, but they were immediately in danger again. They had to compete in that second chance challenge. You know what I mean? Like, and then even after that, if they didn't win that challenge, they were right back on the block. So that felt a lot more,
Yes,
like
that felt that. Yeah, they didn't walk
right,
back in and be safe and just walk back into the game. They
right,
walked back
right,
into a very perilous situation.
right.
Um,
Like there was a chance that if Taras had lost and one of Estelle and Reggie had won, there was a chance that Taras could have been out and Estelle and Reggie would have had to come back in, but they would have earned that way back in.
yes,
Like
yeah,
Sam,
that's my
like
only thing.
right, like Sam didn't really earn anything either. She just pulled that cord, right? Like I don't
Yeah,
even
and
remember what she
I
did.
thought that was total
Yeah,
crap. That was total
yeah.
crap. Uh, but that was
So
also was like, that has nothing to do with Alicia's gameplay. I just want
right,
that to also be known. I mean, she still played an amazing game. She came back into the game and still it made you almost forget that ever even happened. She went back in so
right,
seamlessly and it was just back in. Um,
yeah,
yeah, so I mean that has nothing to do with her. I just thought that was lame, but then it just kind of for me it invalidates a little bit of her story. That's all.
right, right,
Had that
right.
never happened and she just coasted on through, true contender. But those are just my
They really,
thoughts.
if
It's
they're
my
gonna
opinion.
if they're gonna do like these like double fake evictions too, it's so easy to just have those two people that went out compete against each other to go back in or something too. Like it's so easy to
Right.
just do it that way. There was no reason they couldn't have just had Drew and Alicia play some comp to see who won. You go back in. Same thing with Estelle and Reggie. Even though I do like how they did it with Estelle and Reggie with that, automatically going to the second chance challenge and all that. But
I hear this. The reason why I make the excuse for Alicia is because she may have stayed if Drew wasn't snap evicted, since that was part of the twist. But maybe I'm just making excuses. Yeah, I just think it's whack.
it's
That's
really
That's all. Like, but it's not her fault. She still played a flawless game. Well,
I almost
not
want to
really.
go back. I almost want to go back and rewatch that moment too, because wasn't Gabby very involved in getting Alicia up? Because I know that Gabby was pretty upset. I think when Drew was sent out,
Yes, she was
if
very
I remember
upset.
correctly.
Yeah.
And Alicia was a big part of that. And I know that Gabby and Alicia were pretty close. And I think that was kind of a big moment too, where Gabby was part of getting Alicia out that first time. I think working with Tim too, because Tim was very big on like getting revenge for Drew. It's possible. That's what I'm saying. You got to have different comps, different kinds of comps.
I hear you. I do hear that. But you know what time it is? Bong,
Oh, I'm
bong,
ready.
bong, bong, bong. It is time. So stupid. Time to surmise Sonia's style. And listen,
Yes.
she heard our plea. We asked for proper photos. No
Yeah.
more of those stinking reels, and she delivered. So first for evictions, well, 1 and 2, right? No, one eviction 1. It was two. It was two. It was 2 challenges. It was 1 eviction. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Too many numbers. This is what we wore. This is what we had. This little blue number.
Yeah.
It's smoking hot.
Oh, it's smoking hot.
Gorgeous.
Sonia, God,
Just
look at the
gorgeous.
style, the grace. You know, Sonia is just everything.
The blue even matches our blue. Isn't that
Ah,
something? Isn't that
look
something?
At that. Look at that.
Yeah, this is like really jury duty approved.
Yeah.
Yeah,
God,
this is
Sonia,
wonderful. Yeah, really
Sonia
outdoing
is such
herself.
a queen.
Yeah.
Such a queen.
Yeah, yeah. This is not the weirdest podcast segment. We love talking about fashion.
This is all part of it.
This is all part of it. And now we have Sonia and what she wore on today.
Yeah.
Well, I guess last night for the Australians. Again, smoking hot. I give it a hot.
Hot, hot, hot.
Yeah, yeah. She might be our first never not.
Yeah.
Although I wasn't pleased last Thursday with that real crap. And we didn't get a good
We still haven't actually gotten that outfit, have we?
Nope. And I won't look for it anymore. Okay? She missed her chance with me. All right. So it was unjudgeable. Unjudgeable. Right. But I will have everyone know that it would not have been a knot. I just had an attitude that I couldn't show it to you proper.
Yeah, it was still a hot.
It was still a hot. I'm just really pissed off about it.
There was just no way to get a picture of it.
Yeah, it's just really annoying. Really annoying. But, all right, back on track. We now had another nomination challenge, and this one now being a little bit different. This person just getting to cast the sole vote to evict. Because the other 3 are automatically on the block.
Wow.
Which is very fun. I'm kind of glad they kind of kept this in because this felt like ours for a second, just getting into that those final chairs, somebody having to make that decision of who they want to sit next to. And I think it's very interesting with 3,
right.
I have to choose 2 people I want to sit next to. That's kind of, that it was fun to kind of watch that. Yeah. I'm going to show that. I'm going to show that in a minute. So, Taras wins this one again. This is his 11th challenge.
Unbelievable.
Win. Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable. 11 wins, 6 in a row. Like, I can't remember it. I cannot even remember who won the last challenge before he went on this streak. I just
the early days.
Right? It feels like he's just been, I feel like since that moment when everybody called him the guy that's under the radar, he has just dominated everything.
Yep. Absolutely. Just shutting it down. And that is what left now automatically Reggie, Johnson, and Brenton as the nominees. So before we talk about who he did decide to evict, what did you think was the right decision here? What do you think he should do? What do you think he should do?
Okay, I get. See, this is like an impossible position to be in, honestly.
It is.
If you don't take Reggie, Australia's not going to vote for you because you're the guy that didn't take Reggie to Final 3.
Right.
If you do take Reggie, everyone's going to want to vote for Reggie. Even if they like that you took her.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Like, there's nothing because that's the thing. Even if Taras played the best game and he got rid of Reggie as the last OG in there, and it was going to be, Johnson, Taras, and Brenton up there, no one's going to vote for Taras. He's the guy that just sent Reggie home.
Yeah.
Right. And then and in that case, I think that would pretty much solidify like Johnson winning because I feel like as much as people didn't love the newbies, like. I don't know if an intruder would get the win over Johnson, especially when you consider that the first person in the house that really took like a real like haymaker to the OGs, like a real shot at them, was really Brenton. He put up Dave, Reggie, and Estelle, right? What do you got? What do you got?
Haymaker, you said?
I did. A real strong punch, you know?
I know. I liked it. That's all. I just wanted to highlight that word. Yeah, that was really fun. Yeah.
You know what I mean, though? Like,
No, I agree. I do agree with you. And I will also add that I think what Johnson also has going for him in that scenario is his relationship with Reggie and how close we saw them becoming, always cooking together and everything. As the numbers whittled and as, you know, her helpers, for lack of a better word, were now leaving the house, Johnson was always one kind of guiding her through. You often saw them holding hands and stuff. So
yeah,
I think he also had that for him.
Together, cooking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that relationship alone is just very sweet. So you would want to vote for that.
Yeah.
But he decides. Okay, he decides to evict. Well, should we say this yet? Yeah, it's fine. He decides to evict Brenton. He decides to evict Brenton. As if it's some big reveal. You should have already watched it. So the question that I did want to address here is, you know, Kite Man Dan, you know, saying, you know, why didn't he evict Reggie? I get it. Reggie has to go, but again, just you know, to John's point, you can't be the person that evicted her. You almost have a better shot of bringing her and then just making a really fantastic case for yourself. You have more of a shot that way than if you evict her.
Yeah,
I think. Says maybe Taras should have just thrown the challenge and convinced Brenton to evict Reggie. I don't think he would have.
I think Taras knew in that moment that he had to win or he was going home.
Yeah, I think that Brenton would have evicted Taras.
Right.
And I think that would have been in Brenton's best interest as well. I mean, like Taras, especially coming from where Brenton is coming from. I mean, like he just had so many comp wins. Like, I don't want to go with you. And you can clearly see how he has really stepped up his game and everything. So you can't.
Right. Also, like, remember we just saw how like difficult it was for Brenton to choose between Johnson and Tim. Remember that?
Say again?
That was we just saw how difficult it was for Brenton to choose between Johnson and Tim. You remember that?
Yeah.
Brenton was literally in the DR with his shirt over his face, screaming into his shirt because he was having such a difficult time making that decision. I don't see it being as difficult for him if he's choosing between Johnson and Taras. He had the whole thing with Tim, the whole waiting room. They had that whole experience together and then became like the secret alliance. Like it was a really difficult decision. And he still ended up going with Johnson because he kept saying, Johnson's my mate. And I don't think that he was as, you know, close with Taras as he was with Tim. So if it was, you know, like I don't see him having as difficult of a time choosing between Johnson and Taras as he did with that decision between, you know, Johnson and Tim that he had to make.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But I mean,
reading this other comment too. Dan says, I feel like Johnson should have made the case for Taras to evict Reggie. I was surprised he wasn't evicted because I thought that was his only shot. Whose only shot?
Yeah, I think Johnson's only shot. I feel like Johnson should have made the case to evict Reggie. Surprised he wasn't evicted because Johnson was the only other person.
I see. From the others. Yeah. All right, I agree with that. But
I like how Johnson approached this, though. I don't think you can go in there saying evict Reggie. I thought Johnson made the better play. Yeah, I thought he made the better play of going in and saying, like, this is my dream. And, like, you know, and I think it really did touch Taras. I think it really did, like make it, because I think that Taras himself is a pretty, like, he's a head player for sure. We've been talking so much about heart and head this season, right? And like he's definitely a head player with some of these moves that he's made, but I think at the end of the day, like Taras still has a very big heart, like,
yeah, and I think that is what we saw with
yeah.
this. And I think that might endear people towards him a little bit more, because he's really been getting a lot of hate on social media for his gameplay and everything. And the way this was edited, like it felt very, very warm, because it really very much felt like, how could I possibly evict Reggie, knowing why she's here and everything she's been up against? How can I evict Johnson, who this has been his dream?
Right.
It just felt like I felt like he was going to go Brenton, just the way that went. And I said, oh my gosh, I'm like, I didn't even consider Brenton as an option, but now because of the way this went, I am. And it's like, I thought they did a nice job with that.
Oh yeah, there were a lot of emotions in this episode, and I really, I honestly really like the final three that we ended up with.
Yeah, I think it's a great final three. Yeah, I love it. So you cast your vote, huh?
Oh, I did.
Who'd you vote for?
I mean, voting, is supposed to be a very personal thing.
Only in America.
I voted for Taras.
You did.
I love Reggie, and a part of me wants her to win this game, and if she does, I'll be very, 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 very happy. I will. But my God, Taras, like 11 challenge wins, and you know what? Like, I think he's got a good personality. I think he's played a great game. And you know what? Here's the mark of it too, is that he's made it as far as he had, but he's rubbed people the wrong way on both sides. I was devastated when he got Tully out, right? But how many times has Johnson been pissed at him for nominating him, right? So he's pissed off both sides. He's kind of played in the middle in that way a little bit, and he's just turned it on to this whole other gear. Like I said, I've never seen anything like this. He's won more challenges just in a row than we've seen people win ever in their whole career on Big Brother. He has more wins, and that's only about half of his wins, because he's won 6 in a row and he's won 11 overall. So, like, I'm sorry, that is just so impressive. And the fact that he didn't get one nomination, didn't get one eviction point for the first 46 days out of 60 something days, incredibly impressive. That shows you the social game right there. And then again, he's won more challenges than anybody ever in a season of Big Brother. So, I as much as I love Reggie and would love her to win this game, I don't see how, like, Taras has clearly played the best game in the house.
I concur. There's nothing to add. I voted for Taras. Yeah. But I don't have a problem with any of them winning.
I don't either.
I really don't. Like, nothing would really, like, bother me here.
Yeah. Because I really like Johnson too. I mean, if I had to put everybody in an order, Taras, I would say at this point, with who's left in the house, because Tully will always be my number one. But Taras at this point is my number one. Reggie number 2, and Johnson number 3 in terms of, like, how I would like to see things play out. But if any of them won, I would be thrilled, because I feel like they're all very, very deserving. I really like the top 3 that we got down to here. I think that
the way that Johnson really navigated through all, I mean, he sat those eviction chairs, like, I think the most out of anyone. I guess maybe only Drew a shade more. Like, I don't know what numbers Drew got to, but I would say that he would be the only one that would be close.
Right. Yeah.
This is interesting. Dan says, Taras has been the Grim Reaper of this game, but he didn't finish the job and take out Reggie, so I don't really want to vote for him when he had so many opportunities to take the shot. I hear this. I just feel like it's too risky.
Right.
I think it was scary enough trying to take out Tim, like
right.
the way this Australian public is, like they just seem to be like so about these OGs. You're scared to make
Right.
a move.
And that's the thing. Like, I honestly, you asked me who I voted for Taras. But if you ask me who do I think is going to win, I'm going to tell you that I think it's going to be Reggie. So I get what Kite Man Dan is saying about how he should have taken Reggie out. But at the same time, I don't know that it necessarily matters, because while the way things happened, because Taras took Reggie, I think that Taras could probably end up in second place. You know what I mean? In terms of votes. But if he was the one that sent Reggie out right before the finale, I think that regardless of who Taras is sitting next to, whether he's deserving or not, he's going to come in third. Mm-hmm. So by bringing Reggie, he might come in second. But if he was the one that sent her out, he's going to come in third. It doesn't mean he's going to win because he sends Reggie out, because Australia is going to be so pissed at him for sending Reggie out that they're going to give Brenton or Johnson or whoever the win, whoever else is sitting there. I think that's, if you're going to look at it thinking the newbies can't beat the OGs, well, in that same vein, the newbies that sent out those OGs are going to be the ones that don't get any, any recognition. So
this is actually my next question. I wanted to know, like, what I never hear anything, just a stipend. Yeah, right. I never heard anything about what second place gets.
Right. And I'm not even talking in terms of like the money prize. I just mean, let's say 1 million people vote and 750,000 of them vote for Reggie. Maybe Taras, if he brings Reggie, would have gotten 150,000 of those, and then Johnson would get the last 100,000 of those votes. But if Taras is the one that sent Reggie out, he's going to get no votes. He's going to get literally 0 votes because he's the person that sent out Reggie.
I agree. So, I mean, I guess that's it. I guess we'll see how this turns out.
I know, right? I will say, I do
wins, though.
I agree. I will say, like I said earlier, I do think congratulations are due to Brenton. He made it very far in the game. Coming in there halfway through with no relationships whatsoever, really. And I think that I ended up liking him so much more than I ever thought. And when you look at that last competition, while it's incredible that Taras won it and won his 11th, it was close. I mean, they were even saying, the housemates were saying, like, as Big Brother was saying, like, congratulations, Taras, on winning the challenge. Like, Brenton's ball was falling into the goal there. Like, it was right there. And, like, think about how different that could have turned this whole game. Yeah, we could be going into a final 3 with Brenton, Johnson, and Reggie. Maybe Brenton would have thought, I should get rid of the OG. Who knows? Maybe it could be Brenton, Taras. Everything could have changed. So,
yeah. Did you see Dan's comment here?
What's that?
You made a decent case.
And I could be totally wrong. I just feel like with the way that, like, anybody, I mean, look at all the hate that Johnson and Alicia, who we love, they've gotten.
You messed up his vote. He doesn't even know who to vote for now.
I'm sorry. But I just think back to, like, the middle of the season, right? When Johnson and Alicia were just talking about targeting OGs, not even necessarily nominating them. And Johnson and Alicia on social media have not been getting a ton of love because everybody loves the OGs. And Johnson and Alicia were just talking about planning to go after the OGs. Could you imagine if Taras, who had all the power, was the one to say, Reggie, you are out. You are not going to final 3, and I'm making that decision. There's no way anyone's going to vote for him in that case. It made it seem like to me that he had no choice. You got to bring Reggie. Otherwise, no one's going to vote for you. Maybe now he'll get, a couple 100,000 votes or something.
Well, this is what we were saying all along. They really needed to get rid of Reggie like a long time ago. Like, it's too late now. It was too late. So she just has to come with you and just has to keep your fingers crossed. Yeah. And it's not going to happen anyway. Not unless there's a voting glitch.
Yeah.
But, well, I mean, do you have anything else for the benefit of the community? It is 11:17. We have to be up at 5:30 a.m. our time.
I know.
To watch this live. So, we have to hit the hay.
We do.
You know,
We
it
also
has
have
yet to
some
happen.
things we have to work on for the socials, and we have
Yeah,
to,
yeah,
we got some stuff to do. So yeah, that's all I got. I think.
yeah, yeah. I want to put up a popularity poll for
Yeah,
BB24. Yeah, see what people
I
are
got
thinking about that.
some fun video clips to put up over here. So
Yeah, we have stuff to do. Um, all right, so we'll be back at 7:15 a.m. All right, our time, and that'll be 9:15 p.m. for our Australian friends. All right, so we hope you'll join us. Um, anyway, find us on the socials at BB Jury Duty. We're on our fancy website, bbjuryduty.com, and we're out of here. Thanks a lot.